back to Liberty Farms and the Neo Wilson Railway. Well, this is the moment I think we've all been waiting for. It is the spring of 2025. I literally just got a phone call saying, hey, my truck is available. Do you want to start hauling gravel? So we're going to start working on the railroad today. So we're going to haul all the ballast in. We're going to haul a ton of gravel in. So we're going to start hauling on the railroad today. We're just pulling into the pit here. The low boy is in front of me. Yeah, that's a pretty sight right there. We get to start working on the railroad today.
Paul's coming with Mike's equipment, and I'm pretty sure if not today, in the next few days we'll be hauling ballast. Getting pretty exciting. There's the loader. Look at that, equipment back for the railroad. The end of May, Labor Day, 2025. Pretty exciting equipment back, eh?
Yes. I think this is what we all been waiting for. Back to work on the railroad.
Matt is back.
So now that we got the loader here, we're gonna hook back up to the lowboy. We're gonna haul that back to the gravel pit. We're gonna hook up to the lead trailer and we're gonna start hauling gravel in here tonight. So let's get this thing hooked up.
Gotta put the chains away and get back on the road and
Lots of pile of gravel we're gonna haul. We're gonna load this here. That'll tell us the amount of stone in each bucket, and that will, oops, I'm touching the screen. That'll tell us what we have in the truck.
First load of gravel. This is or ballast. This is the second load. I was back staining the train station. So this is the second load. Perfect timing. I just walked the dogs around the railroad grade to get a breath of fresh air. it comes. And here comes the loud, unbearable sound. Never get used to that. It scares you. Second load. Get the dirt off the or the gravel off the back and close up the back. Put the chain on.
Load number 2. Lots more to go.
Paul forgot the first time to load topsoil on the back of the truck. He's trying to make his trips count.
That's all the topsoil we took off of Maple Lanes, and we're hauling that to the pit. Then we're hauling the gravel and the stone back this way. So we're actually loaded going both ways. So we're hauling all that. Mike is going to screen now all that topsoil and sell it. So call Collier Contracting if you are in the Marquette area and you want to load a topsoil. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So we're loaded. We can't get down here with the loader because I didn't finish the pit here. So that's one of the things we're gonna do with the gravel is we're gonna probably put another bucket or two of sand in here. We'll raise this up a little bit and then we'll put some fresh gravel down in here, because then you see we'll have a nice approach and we can come right down in here and load. But until we finish this, that actually works pretty good. So we'll just keep loading like this until we get some gravel down here. But that's why we're loading awkward like this anyway, if you were wondering. Well, let's go dump this and go get another load of stone.
This is where Mike screens all of his topsoil. It's a big power screener. Loads everything with the excavator. Here he is dumping the topsoil so it can get sifted. There it goes. She's a monster. It's a big piece of equipment. It's a big topsoil pile. Oh, is it dusty?
This is one thing you can't forget to do every time you dump. Clean this off.
All right, we're going for one last load of gravel.
has a built-in scale. And it's a little rough around here. So that's why I'm going so slow. But when I come up to the loader, the bucket here is empty. That's what we've hauled so far today. When I lift up on the bucket, right here you'll see a little weight pop up. So the bucket's coming up right now. There's the little weight, and then I just weighed it. And that's how much we had in our bucket right there. And then our totals went up. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And it's hard to chase that little pile around. You don't have nothing to push against. So I'm trying to get 30 ton per load. I'll show you what the totals are here in a second. So there's a little pile over, well, down the way a little bit. And I tried to move some of it over here and dump it on this pile, and I didn't turn the scale on. So I thought, well, it knew I was doing it, so it added 3 ton to the weight. So I'm over on my weights by 3 ton. Which it never actually went in the truck because I just dumped it here, so but it still added it. So when I'm loading this truck, we got to minus that 3 ton out of the calculations, and we were at 120 ton the last load. So now we got to get this to 150 ton, and we're at 35 right now. So we need another 15 ton. And that's going to put this pile right about down to nothing. That's why I hit the pile a little quicker, and I don't push it too far, because otherwise it's just going to spread around. Normally I can load this truck with 6 buckets, but now I'm only getting half buckets because I'm just pushing that little pile, so it's going to take a little bit longer. So there we are, 135.44 ton. Now we're going to weigh this again before I dump it. There's the weights. 3.87 tons. That was added to the total. And I can't see what our totals are until we go forward, because the backup camera comes on so I can see behind me. One more little scoop from this direction. Only a quarter of a bucket. Now we're at 142 ton. Like I said, we're trying to get to 150. We were at 120. 120 and 30 is 150. That's where I'm coming up with them numbers. So now I'll get a little bit of a run at this pile here. Yeah, this pile is going to be gone. There's not much left. So our next video, or coming soon, we're going to come out here and crush some railroad ballast and some gravel. So we're going to show you how we make our own gravel and our own railroad ballast. So stay tuned for that. So my totals are 145. So I actually need 8 ton because it's 3 ton more than there should be. So we're actually only at 142.
Paul was hauling all this gravel yesterday, and today he's been hauling a bunch of it back on the grade for Joe to take with his bobcat. We had to pile it all here because the truck wouldn't go back there. It's too soft back there. So he's hauled quite a few things already this morning. I'm gonna walk back and show you what we're doing. This is where he's hauling around the loop here. This is where he's hauling all of the piles. This is on part of the railroad grade. He already hauled a bunch of dirt or gravel here this morning. And then this is the sap shack, and where we're gonna have the temporary train station. And he's digging out right here, and we're gonna put, we're gonna take this tree down. We're gonna take all this wood that we had from before away from here, and we'll probably we're gonna put a switch in here, fill this so it's nice for walking, and we're probably going to end up putting a switch in here so the train can come in here and unload sap.
But I think what we're going to do here is we're going to put another siding in here, and that way we could run 2 trains at once, and we'll put another siding over on the other side of the railroad. So you could run 2 trains opposite directions, you could run 2 trains the same way, or you could have one run on the main line, and we could take the Plymouth and give rides up here to the flour mill and do flour mill tours, so there'd be a train sitting on the side track and you could still run on the main line. That's where the train barn is going to go, behind me here. And then we'll put a spur, another switch, and I'm digging this out over here because we're actually going to use the railroad to collect maple syrup, and we're going to put a spur and a dead end stub right here, and we can push a tank car up, and we'll stage a tank car right here. Then we can take all the sap and put it right into the sap shack. So this tree is going to come out, all this has to be moved. We got to finish digging this out. We're going to gravel this right up here so this will all be nice and clean, and then taper this down right here for a spur for the railroad. So this will be a functioning railroad in the spring. We're actually going to have a flat car with a couple of tanks on it, and we can run down. Then all these trees, all the way down to Bum's Jungle. All beautiful maples for tapping. So we can tap all these trees down here, and instead of using snowmobiles and 4-wheelers and everything, I thought it'd be really cool just to run the train down there. We'll run everything, put it in the tanks, and bring it up, throw the switch, stage the tank car right here. Yeah, that'll be fun. Can you imagine what we could do for school events? Have the kids out here? Man, this would be great. And I tell you what, these little black flies are getting terrible, so I'm glad we're in equipment right now operating. They finally figured out spring is here. So I'm gonna finish moving that gravel pile. I'll have that done today. I'll have all this dug out. We'll have all this gravel today. So stick around. We'll show you what it looks like when we're finished. Well, we got a little cleanup done here around the new train station. I ran out of gravel, so we are gonna switch gears. I ran out of gravel, so we're gonna quit this project till we get some more gravel hauled in. We're gonna hop in the Bobcat. I'm gonna get some dirt from the bank here. We're gonna run down and start working on a railroad grade, because next time I get some gravel, we're gonna finish this project and we're gonna start laying some stone down on the grade. So let's go get them washouts fixed before we get some more stone. that's gonna be good enough for these washouts because we're gonna grade this out, and a lot of this dirt when we grade it will be rolling off the edges. And we're gonna take a dozer and cut these edges off anyway. Just the ones that come out into the middle of the railroad grade, I'll put a little dirt in so there's not a big bump there when we grade this. Yeah, that'll be good. I'm used to running a Gale. It's the first time I ever ran a Bobcat, so the controls are a little bit different. Not quite used to them yet, so I'm going to save you the pain of watching me operate this thing because I'm kind of a beginner in this Bobcat. Stay tuned next week. We'll see where we're at. We'll see how far we get, and we're going to be starting to put some stone down on the grade, so that'll be really exciting. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Catch you next time.